All right, from X22 Reports, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day. And let's do this. Romney's part here is interesting. We've said before that Romney was implicated in the Ukrainian investigation. Let's see if we can find out some more.
Senator Mitt Romney will vote to authorize a subpoena as part of the Senate Republicans' investigation into the Biden family dealing with Ukrainian energy giant Burisma. Now, he has expressed his concerns to Chairman Johnson, who has confirmed that any interview of the witness would occur in a closed setting without a hearing or public spectacle. He will therefore then vote to let the chairman proceed to obtain the documents that have been offered. The question is, why is Romney so nervous about this? Why didn't he want this going public? Because he's implicated. Let's go back to post 3590. Here it says, what do these people have in common? Pelosi's son, Kerry's son, Romney's son, Biden's son. Hint, geolocation, Ukraine. Hint, energy. Coincidence? This is what he was nervous about.
Biden's son, Romney's son, Kerry's son, Pelosi's son.
Because he didn't want this getting out there. He has a lot to lose. But since this is going to be behind closed doors, he's okay with it because, once again, no one's going to hear what's being said unless they want it out there. Now, again, this is just gathering information to put together a case. This is an investigation. Actually, you don't want all this stuff leaked out. You want it held until they can use it later on, which they will do. Now, if you noticed, there are a lot of individuals getting behind Biden. Remember, he's part of the good old gang, and they believe if they can get enough people to endorse him, they're hoping that they will be safe. Now, we know that James Comey, we know that John Brennan, they have endorsed Biden. Hillary Clinton saying he's a great candidate. We also have now...
Yeah, and all of them are crooks.
Susan Rice, who's saying that she would endorse Biden. This is what she tweeted out. I'm proud to endorse...
Wow. Condoleezza Rice is deep and thick in problems, too. Pathetic.
Joe Biden for president. And these individuals, they believe if they can get Biden in this position, it's going to be okay for them. Now, what's very interesting is that we know from yesterday, because we showed the little clip of Biden, he doesn't know where he is half the time. I do believe that he is going to continue with this because he's going to use it later on. But one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure you have noticed, and Julian Rum has noticed, is that how many times has the mainstream media been out there saying that Trump should undergo psych evaluations? And with Biden continually messing up, forgetting, getting confused, how many times has the mainstream media said, hey, maybe Biden should get a psych evaluation? I believe it's zero at this point.
Let's move on. It's just ridiculous. I have time to mess with this foolishness too much longer.
Pushing Biden, Hillary Clinton saying how innocent she is, that it was all a big mistake, and Bill Clinton's out there. They are setting the narrative.
Right. Let's move on.
Which is synonymous with collusion between Trump campaign or any American and Russians. Barr said that. That was misleading because Mueller report also said there were links between Trump campaign and Russians. Now, we need to remember that this judge presided over the trial of Scooter Libby. And this was widely viewed as a miscarriage of justice. And Trump pardoned Libby in 2018.
Exactly, another screwed up judge.
of public access to examine government records after it received no response to a December 6, 2019 records request. Now, Judicial Watch, they want all subpoenas issued by the House Permanent Select Committees on Intelligence on or about September 30th, 2019 to any telecommunications provider, including but not limited to AT&T, for records of telephone calls of any individuals. They want all responses received to the above referenced subpoenas. The records are of critical public importance as the subpoenas were issued without any lawful basis and violated the rights of numerous private citizens. Disclosure of the requested records would serve the public interest by providing information about the unlawful issuance of the subpoenas. The request.
Let's go on, see if they get it. Judicial Watch is one of the great judicial systems and on justice and truth, but they've been stonewalled, and the judicial system been dragging their feet on so many requests. It's just, the swamp is so deep and wide, it just totally sucks. It just totally sucks. And this is why I've continually said I don't think that no matter what Trump does, he's going to get rid of enough of the deep swamp. It's going to take a good bite out of it, but it's not going to be finished off like it needs to be. Let's move on here.
Range of 2 to 3%.
Now, this is already destroying the deep state, the D's narrative.
Let's go back and see what he said here.
Per week, 174 per day, 7 per hour. So on Thursday, HHS, the Assistant Secretary, decided to tell reporters what the real percentage is, and it's more in line with the flu. He said the best estimates now of the overall mortality rate for COVID-19 is somewhere between 0.1% and 1%. That's lower than you heard probably in many reports. It's not likely in the range of 2 to 3%. Take a listen to what he said.
So
the COVID ID, COVID-19 or whatever it is, COVID-19, excuse me, it's closer to 0.1 to 1%, quote unquote. 0.1% to 1%. That's the range. Not likely at 2 to 3%. And 2 to 3% is really not that big. So I think even if it's between 0.1% and 3%, it's not that big a deal.
our best modeling, again, you have a denominator problem, and I want you to understand that only the people who are really sick or have symptoms come in and get tested. So based on the models we have right now, we estimate the mortality as 0.1 to 1%. It is likely not in the range of 2 to 3%.
Now, this is already destroying the deep state, the D's narrative. And Educating Liberals tweeted this out. Each year, 600,000 Americans die from cancer. 300,000 die from obesity, 250,000 die from medical errors, 120,000 die from Alzheimer's, 55,000 die from the flu, 45,000 commit suicide, and 700,000 babies are aborted. And we need to put all this in perspective. Remember, this is not airborne. It's not spreading through the air. This is by touch. And if you really understand...
So, I thought it was spread by air, but it was spread by touch. So we misunderstood that it's done by touch and it's not spread by airborne. That needs to be cleared up one way or another.
And what is happening here, they're taking a cold, a flu, and they're blowing it out of proportion. And if you really think about when Trump said, yeah, I think these numbers are much, much lower, it's a hunch that I'm going on, he knew exactly what they were going to report, and he was right again. And the mainstream media was out there, and they were making fun of him. Oh, it's on a hunch. But look, the actual numbers actually came out, and they're much, much lower than what the mainstream media is reporting.
Of course, let's move on here.
With devotion, a person who regards himself or herself as a defender, especially of individual rights against presumed interference by the federal government, a traitor, A person who betrays another
Let's go on. Some of this stuff is just ridiculous.
sent us a message
What if Hussein knew an authorized renegade?
that renegade is going to pay the price. Now, what's very interesting, the couple reports back, I mentioned the 16-year plan. And everyone is concerned about, oh, there's no arrests, there's nothing going on. Think about the 16-year plan for a sec. Why didn't they just implement it within 1 year? Why did it take 16 years? Why didn't they just go ahead and do it? Because they had to put certain people into place, and it was going to...
Again, it was going to take time. It would have been a total revolutionary mode. Let's end this. All I know is that Obama is one of the biggest traitors there ever was, his presidencies. Bush's were too. This goes across party lines. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Bush Jr. did some crazy things that were really anti-American. Bush Sr. did too. And they're not alone. In both parties, there are people that are anti-American as you can get. And they wear one cap and do another. You see it again and again. Anyhow, enough of that. Battles are going to be back down to the homes, the families, communities, and battles are also going to be on the federal level, on all levels. We'll see how all this ends up after Trump is out in the next 4 years. He's definitely going to get in this second term. He's going to do some great work in his second term. Who knows what's going to happen after that? I think we've got at least 4 to 6 years, maybe 7 to 8 years before things start moving back the other way. But I warn you, things can move back the other way very quickly because the elite groups are not going to sit on their butts and not go after the power and the abuses that they want. There's no way. So don't ever think that it's done until Christ comes and consumes these people. There's a change of heart. Satan's bound. There's no way that it's going to be stopped until then. This is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Remember, take care of your health and your family. Look at my program, 7K Health, health.7K, and I've got some videos coming out on that. Look at precious metals. Get into the coins and the system. If you can market, get into that as well. There's a lot of money to be made in both those programs. Again, if things are going to happen, if the future is going to be better, you're going to have to make it better. That's the only way it becomes better. Again, I say these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.